Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Browns Insider. I am Dan Labbe, and we are joined, as always, via phone by Mary Kay Cabot in Berea. Mary Kay, how are you today?
I'm doing fine, Dan. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Very sunny out there in Berea, but other than that, things are certainly going well. And for Brian Hoyer, he was officially named the starter for Saturday's game today. Not a big surprise. Maybe the surprise is that it took this long for it to officially happen. But did you think there was any chance that Johnny Manziel could have started this game?
No, I don't think that was really ever in the cards. So to me, this was not a surprise at all. I think it would have actually kind of pulled the rug right out from underneath Brian if they would have taken this start away from him. Johnny just got in there this week with the first team, and so they're going according to plan. So he'll start this game, and then I think there's a chance that Johnny actually will start that second game in Washington next week, that Monday night game, and and I think that would give them a really good idea of who can do what heading into the big decision.
Now, even though Hoyer did officially get named the starter, it really seems like Johnny Manziel over the last few practices, really since Saturday's scrimmage, has closed the gap pretty significantly. Where would you put these quarterbacks right now in this competition?
I would say probably even right now, but you can just kind of feel that Johnny's starting to pick up some momentum, and I think that is because they're allowing him to run around, to make some plays with his feet, and to start to look good. And the lights are coming on for him. He's not as lost as he was in the first week. He's catching up quickly on the playbook. It's starting to make sense to him. I did ask him today, I said, now, given what you know now about how complicated the playbook is, would you have done anything differently between the draft and the start of training camp? He was not about to budge on that. And he said, nope, I would not have done anything differently at all. It's because you have to get out here and try these things on the field. You can stare at little X's and O's, on an iPad all you want, but until you actually get out and start running the plays, that's when the learning begins.
Mary Kay, a question from the comments in the post, and again, if you're watching this show live and you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the comments in the post, and we'll try to get to some of them. Looking at Johnny Manziel, and obviously we haven't seen him play even a preseason game yet, but how would you compare what you've seen from him early in camp to what we've seen from other Browns rookie quarterbacks early in camp?
Well, you know what? He just adds a whole new dimension because, they are, running him out of the pistol and trying different things with the scheme. So, it does look a little bit different because you can see, you can see some of that playmaking ability. It's not taking us long to be able to witness some of that. And I think one of the things that has struck me the most about Johnny is the good spin that he puts on the football. He's got a very strong arm. It's stronger than I thought it was going to be. The revolution, the spin on the ball has been very impressive, especially on the short passes, but even on the long ball. He puts good velocity on the ball. And, some of the credit for his good mechanics right now goes to George Whitfield, the quarterback guru from Massillon, who's now working for the 49ers. He's done a tremendous job with Johnny from over the past couple of years, really, but specifically in the last few months leading up to the draft.
Another question from the comments, and both quarterbacks were asked about this today. Kyle Shanahan has some long play calls, and the question in the comments is, do you think that there comes a point where maybe he would simplify those a little bit, or is that just kind of going to be what it is?
Well, you know what? I believe that they'll probably tailor the game plan, play calling, and whatever they need to do to make Johnny look good if they decide that he's going to be their starting quarterback. And that's another thing. He doesn't have to know the whole entire playbook to go into a game. They will game plan. It will be game plan specific. They'll give him an amount of work to do that is appropriate for the opponent, and he can really focus on that. So I think, that's when you'll really start to see him come on strong, when he doesn't have to be barking out, a million different plays that he's learning, but just one that week that they will be implementing in the game plan. So, I don't know. The way that it's looking right now, it looks to me like he's picking up significant, considerable steam, and I just don't think that that it's a lock that Brian's going to start the opener.
With these two quarterbacks, Coach Pettin has previously said that, he hopes one of these guys just grabs the job, that the decision is basically made easy for him. But if all of this plays out, we get through the second preseason game, and he's at a point where he wants to name his starter, and these guys are pretty much still in a dead heat, which one does that favor? Does it favor the guy who started before, or does it favor the young guy?
Well, they'll have to have some healthy debate about that, I would think, because you would be going with a young guy who can make a significant amount of plays by running around versus more of a pocket passer who's coming off a torn ACL. So I think that will factor in because, you're talking about the Steelers and Pittsburgh and whatnot. If Brian Hoyer were not coming off of a torn ACL, then I would think that would be a no-brainer. But the fact that he is wearing the knee brace.
Mary Kay, are you still there? All right, I think we might have lost Mary Kay Cabot, our connection with Mary Kay here on Browns Insider. Of course, she was talking about the Browns quarterback situation, comparing the two quarterbacks. Today at camp, Johnny Manziel looked a lot better. He's been growing and growing since really kind of a shaky start to camp. And Saturday at the scrimmage, I thought he played very well, and then he's really carried that momentum forward through these last 3 days of camp. And of course, tomorrow the Browns will have one more practice before going to Detroit, where Brian Hoyer will be the starting quarterback. And I believe we have Mary Kay Cabot back on the line. Mary Kay, you were talking about who it might favor if these quarterbacks were even, if you want to finish that thought.
Well, I'm not exactly sure where we left off, but I was basically trying to make the point that it comes down to the team that they will have to come down to the fact that you'll have a veteran pocket passer who's coming off a torn ACL, only 10 months out of surgery, going up against a first-round pick who can run around and make plays and is healthy. So you'll have experience versus inexperience, but healthy, versus coming off of a torn ACL with a brace. So these are some of the things that will factor in. I think right now, at this minute, if they had to make the decision today, I think it would be Brian Hoyer. But I think these next two games and these next couple of weeks of practice will determine everything.
A couple other guys I want to ask about in the linebacking core. First of all, Carlos Dansby. You had a chance to talk to him yesterday. He met with the media, and he's a very interesting guy to hear talk, to say the least.
Oh, he is. You know what? He brings a lot of life and a lot of energy and a lot of bravado to the field, to the locker room, to the meeting room. I mean, he's just, full of leadership and personality. And it's good. I mean, they've got, they need a little bit of energy and enthusiasm on that defense. They needed some leaders in the way that Dante Whitner and Carlos Dansby have stepped in there and kind of taken over those roles. You see sort of that, almost like that, that Ray Lewis sort of, intensity from these guys. And it's good. You can hear Carlos out there after plays, talking guys up, maybe doing a little trash talking. But I think it's great for the defense.
Another guy who made a play to end practice today, Chris Kirksey, he's been getting rave reviews pretty much all throughout camp. And today, Mike Pettin, specifically praised what he's seen from Kirksey and said, basically, if you didn't have a roster and you were just watching him, you wouldn't know he was a rookie. What have you thought of Kirksey?
Wow, you know what? That is just exactly, how I have felt about watching him out there. He is fitting right in. He does not look like a rookie. Some of these guys that have been drafted this year are looking really good. I mean, this is shaping up to be a good draft. And Christian Kirksey is fitting right in there. He made a play right in the end zone to break up a touchdown pass and win those orange jerseys for the defense once again. And, he's not first on the depth chart right now at inside linebacker, but he will probably get the start. And if he doesn't start, he'll get significant playing time right off the bat.
Last guy I want to ask you about, and again, part of that draft class, Justin Gilbert. You know, we always kind of wait with bated breath as to which quarterback is going to be with the ones, but at cornerback, Justin Gilbert today spent some time with the ones over Buster Screen. Do you think Gilbert can win that job? Do you think maybe he's in the lead for that job now?
Yeah, I think so. I think he can win that job. I think by the time the season starts, he'll be ready to step in there and start. And, you know, and then Buster will be in there plenty in, you know, in multiple wide receiver sets in the slot and whatnot. But, yeah, I think Justin's ready. I actually think he might be ahead of where Joe Hayden was at this point in his rookie year. If you remember, Joe Hayden didn't start right away. I think Justin Gilbert is showing that he's ready to step in there and start.
And Gilbert seems to kind of fit the mold of what this defensive coaching staff wants, a big physical guy who can kind of manhandle receivers a little bit right off the line.
Yes, he can. And that's one of the first things that fans coming out to camp will notice is just how big Justin Gilbert is. It's just, you know, around here, you know, we're used to seeing some smaller cornerbacks, but he is really, not only is he big in size, but he's just built, and he's, you know, he's muscled up for someone at that position. He's just got an amazing physique when it comes to just being able to knock guys around out there, and he will do that. He'll match up well against some of these big physical receivers.
All right, Mary Kay Cabot joining us from Berea. Day 10 of Browns training camp in the books, and of course, Mary Kay and Tom Reed will have all kinds of good stories coming out of Berea. You can find them all at cleveland.com/Browns. Mary Kay, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
All right, and that will do it for another edition of Browns Insider. For Mary Kay Cabot, I'm Dan Labbe. Thanks for watching.